Okay, back on the 93. Like I said earlier, the clutch was adjusted good, and I started chasing down the leak in the AC system. Of course, used a set of gauges, vacuumed it down to where it was about 25. As soon as I cut it off, it'd start leaking again. Well, I took and shot a little of this AC Pro in there, 134A. After I did that, I come back with this nice Matco leak detector, and you can see it makes a little bit of noise. I was able to come back around to this part here with it in there. I got a little bit, so I replaced the seal there, and I replaced the seal on this upper one. I got back over here around the AC compressor, and I kept getting a leak, so I replaced seals underneath the manifolds, and also here and here. Still was getting a leak. Vacuumed it back down after that, and again, and was still pulling pressure out, or you could watch the gauge go back up. Well, then I reversed how I was putting it out of the well, this is a recovery unit, but it works as a vacuum pump also. And as you can see, I got it reversed right now, and I pumped it up to about 120 pounds. I put soapy water on all the connections, and still wasn't finding a leak. Well, I come back, there's a seal right in here. I put it on. Wasn't getting big bubbles, but when the water started running off, it could get down, you could see little bitty bubbles. So I went ahead and just ordered another compressor to put on here. Most of the time when you can't find a leak, it's the seals in the compressor. And I believe this is a used compressor I put on here in the first place. So I'll get you cut off, and we're going to start turning it, and get you cut off, get set up, and we'll be pulling the compressor off and putting the new one on. Okay, gathered up the tools. Gonna need some different size wrenches. Gonna do the fittings on the compressor. Gonna need, I'm using a ratchet. You could use a wrench, you could use a breaker bar. It's a 18 mil or 11/16. Because you got to get the belt off. Use that, turn it around. You got to take the belt off that holds the pulley on. Well, grab something else here. I rearranged my tools a little bit the other day, so I forgot where I had certain items at. Well, that way's not working either. bolt wants to keep backing off on that pulley, so I'll come in on the back side and just catch the rest of that bolt with the long pry bar. You can see, got the pulley off and I keep dropping everything else. Find the rest of my wrenches here. And as you can see, the power wiring to the compressor is already unhooked. I think I was just tightening that. I was. Okay. Got both of the lines undone. Now, these bolts are 13 millimeter. I'm not going to bore you watching me unbolt them. But let's go ahead and get this compressor opened up. I ordered it from Summit Racing. With their free shipping, it was better than the price of Rock Auto. Rock Auto was $20 cheaper to look at it, but then you had to pay for shipping on top of that, which would have brought it up to a little bit more. And with Rock Auto, you also pay for your when you have to return the core. You end up losing part of that money back in shipping fees. I've never had to ship a core back to Summit before, so we'll find out after this one. Okay, let me get this out of the box here. And the invoice comes with instructions. One or more items on this invoice contains a core charge. For instruction about how to return the core for credit, please use one of the options. So you can go to their website and get it set up. And altogether, this compressor with the core charge and tax cost me $344.83, and that will also be $50 of that is core charge. So the compressor was $272.99 and $21.85 in taxes. The compressor alone at Rock Auto was $253, so you see it's $20 difference. So I don't know exactly what the shipping would have been, but I know that in the long run, Rock Auto is not always the cheapest way to go. Okay, here's a new compressor. I went ahead and just cut the plastic wrap on now. As you see, it's got the ports covered up here. It comes with 4 new O-rings. These plates will come off, and the part that the line's hooked to, which is called a manifold, will be bolted back down on here. Okay, I got the compressor off. I had to switch this bracket from the old one to the new one. And I don't know if you can tell there, this is a factory Ford compressor. Now I know it wasn't original this car because this car had a 4-cylinder in it. So this thing could be in here from 1993 back, since they changed styles of compressor after this year. So this means this compressor was used. I know I've replaced the clutch on it in the past, but I don't remember if I ever replaced the compressor. And looking at this, I've never replaced it. I put a used one on when I did put the air conditioner on with the V8 in it. And I did the motor conversion right after I moved into this house, and I've been in this house for 20 years, so this conversion was done probably around 2016 to this car. So that compressor's been lasted for a pretty good while. Well, let me get this one put back on, and I'll show you some more stuff with it. Okay, got the compressor bolted back on. Went ahead and put the belt back on. I put up some of my tools. Got a little note on here. Compressor is pre-charged with 3 ounces of oil. Must have recommended metal type. Scan QR code. First fabrication specific oil type. Okay, which there's the QR code. Now what I'll do is I'll be going in here, pulling these 2 caps off, and putting these ports on. And it comes with new O-rings. So let me get set up and we'll start doing that. Okay, there's your 32mm heads on these. Now you want to watch out when you're doing it to make sure you don't get trash in it. So this little screwdriver will work. There we go. And you'll be putting these caps back on the other one to keep the oil from running out when you send it back. Okay. You want to do your best to keep any dirt out of this system. You introduce dirt, it can clog up the orifice tube, which is what controls your pressure. After the 134A goes through the compressor, it comes out in a liquid form, and the coolant happens when it gets changed from the liquid form to the gas form through the orifice tube. And all an AC system is a big heat exchanger. Just like your heat pump in your house is. The big thing on a car to remember is if you got a newer one and you like the fan to run faster, don't leave it set on AC in the wintertime because you're running the compressor in that. And what that'll do is cause you to burn out your compressor early, because it's putting heat in both ends. It's not dissipating the heat out of the condenser like it should, and it's adding heat in at the evaporator where it should be taken, and it's changing the cold air for the hot air, so it overheats the system. Okay, and I just put new O-rings on this the other day, so I'm not going to change them out again. Okay, get this nut started. Now if the system hadn't just been leaking freon out, I would have took and replaced all the lines and flushed the system to clean it out. But since this one just was leaking freon, I'm going to just change it the compressor out. These lines tightened up good enough. Okay, I'm going to catch up and I'll bring you back when I get through doing the other one and get the line hooked up. Okay, you scan this QR code and it'll bring a chart up on your phone that is similar to the one in this book. You'll take a look at the model year. I don't know if this is showing up good. And it'll tell you what page. And you'll come down to the year under Ford. And V8 engines for the Mustang. And the bird tempo, get back up here, Taurus. Mustang. And you'll look at the year, and you'll come over, and it'll tell you that it uses, find it again, 89 to 93 uses 40 ounces of R12 and 8 ounces of mineral oil. Well, this car's being converted to R134A, and at the bottom of that page it says, when retrofitted to R134A, pag oil must be used. You come over in this book, which is the Haynes Technical Manual for Heating and Air. You look at 93 Mustang and Probe, it uses 2.5 pounds of a R12. See if I can get back to where the starts at. After service and repair, flash models there. Okay, that's for, make sure I'm right on this. Okay, I was right, that was a refrigerant. It's 2.5 pounds. Then we'll flip back over here. And this one should be refrigerant. GM, Hummer, Jeep, Chevrolet, too far. Dodge, Eagle, Ford. We'll find a 93 Mustang again. Right here. And it says 8 ounces of pag oil in this one. Well, not pag, but mineral spirits. So I know I've got 3 in here. We're going to go ahead and go with 8. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do with the can of it. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I got the gauges hooked up. Low pressure side. And hooked up here. We cut that on, make sure this valve's open. And you'll be able to watch the gauge set. Get it pulled down. It'll pull down to about 25 on this gauge. When it gets high, we'll shut it off and see if it's leaking. It'll be obvious pretty quick. It's actually pulling down pretty quick. Why don't you let this run, because this isn't just pulling a vacuum on this, it's also pulling moisture out of the system. The more moisture you get out, the better your air conditioning is going to work. So I'm going to let this run a little bit and pull it down. We're almost to 18 already inches of vacuum. So I'm going to let it run for a little bit, pull the system down real good, get as much moisture out as it can. And just in that little bit of talking, it's already down to 20. So I'm going to cut you off. I've got to put a new battery in the GoPro, and then we'll come back out here in a little bit and see where we're at. Okay, I finished up the air conditioning. Then I checked the transmission fluid. It was good. Rear end fluid, I had to top off a little bit. Tightened up oil pan bolts. valve cover bolts. Found a broke exhaust hanger, which I knew I had one, I just didn't know where it was at. Did run into one other issue on the air conditioning. I found another leak. By replacing the compressor, it slowed it down, but it didn't stop it. I had to replace the suction line, well, rephrase that, the low pressure line and receiver dryer all one piece. Evidently, when I was putting the intake on this ProFlow 4, I either took a chunk out of the line, or when I put the motor in originally, I don't know. So I got that replaced. Now which I had a hard time finding all these leaks. With that one, I've got a little setup I've adapted to hook up to the low pressure port here and hook to an air compressor. And the only way I found a leak was to come back, and I just kept running my hand back in this area, and I never felt the air blowing out, but it got cool right in this area where the line had the rubber taken off. Now this motor is 5.0 based motor. Like I said, ProFlow multi-port fuel injection. I used to have the Feist EasyFi1, or first EasyFi on there, which was okay, but the multi-port, if you're doing fuel injection, is definitely the way to go. Got a 3G alternator upgrade on it. I don't run underdrive pulleys. I found that my car just doesn't cool as good. Same thing with the electric fan. I couldn't get it to cool good, so I've just got a regular flex fan on here. SVE radiator. Maximum Motorsports, pretty sure that's Maximum Motorsports steering shaft. Stock rack. I've upgraded to 94, 95 spindles with 2002 two-piston calipers. These are, don't remember what year, V6 rims that I've got on here off of a Mustang. This is off of a 2002 Mustang that was wrecked, the Hydro Boost, which I swear by Hydro Boost for the brakes. Car was a 4-cylinder automatic. Of course, you can tell V8, straight drive now. Got Motorsports 5300 base springs under it. AJE control arms in the front. Coney Yala single adjust shocks. Rear has a set of Mack lower control arms on. I think they're SVE upper adjustable with heim joints, and then the UPR spherical bushings. K member in this is from UPR. Get it started up here. The outer block heads. Trick flow stage 2 cam, which is 224, 232 at 50. 542, 563 lift. And you can tell, well, I don't know why I'm holding the camera down there. Got a nice little rumble to it. The nice thing is with the H pipe that's on it, the car has no drone in it. With this multi-port fuel injection, the car runs so smooth and so good down the road. Even with this build motor, you'd want to make a daily driver out of it. But like I said, and the air conditioner blows super cold. I could have used dye in the system, probably find a leak, but I just really didn't want to put that in there and run a chance of it gumming up the whole system. Well, again, thank you for watching CC's Garage. Remember, the small projects get the big projects done. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on CC's Garage.